Alright, it's a Saturday here at Thunder Valley Casino. It's a little bit past Sacramento in Lincoln, California, about a half an hour drive from there. Just hopped into the $400 tournament here. It's day 1E. This is the last starting flight for this WSOP circuit event. And we're at the second break now, so just gonna run through a few hands up to this point. All right, in this first hand we're playing 1-2-2. There's a low jack limp. The high jack raises to 800. Cutoff calls. I'm on the button with 4-5 of hearts. I make the call as well, and low jack makes the call. We're playing about 13K effective, and we go 4 ways to a flop of ace-6-3 with 2 hearts. So flop a nice monster here. Checks over to the cutoff. He puts out a bet of 2K. And only I make the call. The turn comes in 8 of hearts. He checks it this time. I put out a bet of 2,000. Can probably size up a little bit here, but that's the sizing that I chose at the time. And he makes the call. River comes a 5 of diamonds. He checks it once more, and I bet 6K. He tanks for quite a while, and he tells me while he's tanking that he has a set. And after thinking it through for a little bit, he lets it go. So take this one down. Don't get max value. Probably can size down a little bit on the river to get a call, but happy to take it down. All right, this next hand, there's 2 early position limps. I'm in middle position with ace deuce of hearts, and I raise it to 900, and only one of the limpers makes the call. We go heads up to a flop of ace jack 4, 2 diamonds. He leads into me for 1K, make the call. The turn comes at 3 of diamonds, and he doesn't stop betting. He bets 2,000, and he's a little bit on the tighter side, but I'm not ready to let it go just yet, so I make the call. The river pairs the 4 of hearts, and he bets 3K. Can probably get away, but we get a little bit stubborn, and the off chance that he's overplaying a hand like a jack or has an ace with no kicker and we're chopping, I just make the call, and he turns over queen 8 of diamonds. So he makes the flush, and drawing dead on the turn, probably could have got away, but got a little stubborn in this hand and lose this one. This next time we're playing 2-3-3. I'm in middle position with pocket 8s, and I raise it to 600. I get calls from the hijack and small blind, so we go 3 ways to a flop of jack 7-7. I c-bet 600, and only one of the players makes the call. Turn comes another jack, so double pairs the board. I don't want to stop betting and just relinquish control of the hand, so I bet 1,200. He thinks it through for a little bit and makes the call. The river comes a 9 of hearts, and this time I think my hand's just essentially a bluff catcher, so I just check it, and he checks back. He turns over ace-king offsuit, so pocket 8s here, take it down. This next hand is pretty strange. We're playing 3-6-6. There's an under the gun raise to 3x, 1,800. And I actually get misdealt in this hand. The first card that I pick up is a king of spades, and then the dealer throws me a jack of diamonds. However, that jack of diamonds got exposed, so I got a replacement card, which ends up being a king of diamonds. So a very interesting spot. Given that his raise is from under the gun, he's pretty strong, but I 3-bet it to 4K. It's a little bit strong from early position, but I'm not sure if the table is really paying too much attention to those dynamics. And it gets back to this pair, and he puts in a 4-bet. He 4-bets it to 10K, so not loving it. Feels like he might have aces or queens here, so I just make the call. We started this hand about 25K effective, and we go heads up to a flop of jack 6-5, 2 diamonds. He checks it, that's a good sign. I decide to just check it back here. The turn comes a 7 of hearts. He bets this time, 5K. Gotta just call here, so that's what I do. And the river comes an 8 of diamonds, which completes the front door flush, but I don't think it matters here too much given that it was a 4-bet pot, and I've got the king of diamonds in my hand. He bets 5K. I've only got about 7,500. I make the call, and he turns over ace-king offsuit. So scoop this one. Very strange hand here. A lot of thoughts running through my mind. I think under normal circumstances, if I just had the kings, I would have just went with it. But given that it was a missed deal, it was just kind of strange to play this one out. But happy to take this one down, and currently at about 45K or so, and I think we're coming back to blinds of 4-8, so fairly healthy. About half the field through today, so see if we can run it up from this point. All right, we're on another break here after 4 more levels. Next notable hand is at the 4-8-8 level. There's a raise from, I believe, the hijack to 2,400. I'm in the big blind with 8-9 offsuit. A little bit light to be defending here, but I decided to defend it. We're playing about 35K effective. Flop comes deuce 3-4 with 2 diamonds. Action checks through. The turn comes a 10 of hearts, I believe. I check it over to him, and he puts out a bet of 1,600. It's a board that kind of should interact with my range a little bit more than his, so I don't do this play too often, but I decide to put in a pure bluff here. I check raise it to 4,400. He doesn't think too long, and he makes the call. The river comes another 10. It's not a good card to barrel, I don't think, even though I do have 8-9 in my hand. I can rep some 10s, perhaps, and like 8-10 or 9-10, but I just give up here. I check it, and he checks it back. He shows king 3 of diamonds, so he flopped the middle pair with a flush draw. Wasn't gonna get him off that hand. And yeah, lose this one. This next time we're playing 5-1-1. I'm in under the gun +1 with pocket sixes. I raise it to 2,000 and the big blind defends. We go heads up to a flop of 6-5 deuce rainbow, flop top set here. He checks it, I bet 1,500, and he just jams all in. He punts it off and I make the quick call. He turns over queen 3 of diamonds and I get a clean run out to pick up a decent amount of chips in this hand. Our next hand at the same level, hijack raises to 2,500, cutoff makes the call. I'm in the big blind with pocket fours. I make the call as well. We go three ways to a flop of king 6-4 rainbow, so flop bottom set on this board. I check it and the other two players check as well. The turn comes a queen of clubs, bringing in the backdoor flush draw. Checks over to the cutoff and he puts out a bet of 2,500. Good spot here to go for some value, so I raise it to 8K. The other player folds and the cutoff calls, leaving about 20K back. The river comes a 9 of clubs, so it completes the backdoor straight and flush. Not the best card, as he can definitely have those hands in his range, but I just decided to put out a blocker / value bet of 5K. He doesn't think too long and makes the call. He turns over ace queen offsuit, so scoop this one here with bottom set. This next time we're playing 6-12-12. There's an under the gun raise to 2,600. Under the gun 1 calls. There's a late position call as well. I'm in the small blind with 3-5 of hearts, a little bit loose in this spot, but I've got everyone covered at the table, so I make the call and big blind calls as well. We go 5 ways to a flop of 4-4-6 2 spades, so I flop open in a straight draw here. Checks over to under the gun 1 and she puts out a bet of 5K. Late position folds. I make the call here. It's a little bit loose, but drawing to the open-ended straight draw, and I think I can rep some spades as a bluff if need be, because I don't think she's betting with a flush draw in a multi-way pot here, and the other two players fold. We go heads up to a turn of an 8 of clubs. I check it, she checks back, and the river comes a deuce of clubs. So I make the straight, and I put out a bet of 8K, and she makes a pretty quick call, turn my hand over, and she turns over pocket 10. So drag this one in here. Just 2 more quick hands to run through. I knocked out a player when I had pocket queens against his ace queen in the 6-12-12 level, and then later on in the 8-16-16 level, I doubled up a player when I had pocket 8s versus his pocket queens. So pretty much break even spot between those 2 hands, and that wraps it up for all the hands so far over the last 4 levels. We're coming back to, I believe, 1-2-2. I've got about 120K, so a pretty healthy stack of 60 big blinds. Currently about 130 or so players left. We're playing down to 74 to make it into day 2. So we'll see if we can run it up from here. All right, it's 6:30 in the PM over here in the food court, and the tournament's still running, so that can only mean one thing: busto. It wouldn't be a proper vlog though if I don't share the pain with you, so let's run through the last few hands here. First hand coming back from break, we're playing at the 1-2-2 level. Small blind limps. I'm in the big blind with ace-jack offsuit. I bump it to 6K, and he makes the call. We go to a flop of ace-7-5 2 diamonds. He leads into me for 4K. Good spot here to just call, I think, to keep all of his bluffs in there, so that's what I do. Return comes a king of hearts. He checks it this time, and I put out a bet of 10K, try to get some value here, and he makes the call. The river comes another king, and he checks it. He's got about 26K back. I'm rating him on a hand like a weaker ace here, and given that diamond's bricked out, and while I don't have a diamond, I think I can make it look like I missed diamonds, so I jam. He snap calls, and he turns over king queen offsuit. So he rivers trips there and takes it down. Probably a little bit too thin on the river there, but I don't know, in that moment it felt like it was correct, and I just run into it here. Shortly after, I'm in middle position with ace-jack offsuit. I open it to 4K. The button calls, and the big blind jams for 20K. I've got about 70K in my stack, so I'm okay with risking some of it here, so I make the call. Button folds, and I'm up against big blind's pocket 9s. The board runs out queen 9-8, so he flops middle set on a monotone board. The turn, however, is a 10 of clubs, so I make the straight, but unfortunately the river comes a queen of spades. So I suck out on the turn, he re-sucks out on the river, and I double this player up. Shortly after, there's an under the gun race to 6,500. I'm in under the gun +1 with pocket 10s. Got about 50K here, so 25 bigs. I just make the call, and we go heads up to a flop. That's king high, king 7 deuce, I believe. He checks it, and I decide to check it back. The turn brings a deuce of clubs, so it brings in the backdoor flush draw. We bet 6,500 this time. He can still, I think, have some flush draws here, so my 10s can be good sometimes, so I make the call. The river comes another deuce, so I fill up, and he doesn't stop betting. He bets 6,500, and this time I just let it go. I can't imagine him betting worse than queens here for value. And yeah, fold it, and he's kind enough to show me 2 black kings. So up against it here, and lose this one as well. All right, last hand of note, we're playing 1,000, 2,500, 2,500. Folds to me in the low jack with ace-4 of hearts. Only got about 12 big blinds, 30K here, so I shove it in there, and big blind makes a pretty quick call with pocket king. So keep running into it here, and the board runs out 3, 4, 7, queen, 3. So no help, and busts out an 108 out of today's flight of 488 players. So yeah, definitely super painful to have most of the tournament go pretty well, and then it just comes to a crashing end in a pretty rough couple levels after that break there. So out, don't cash, and I was considering playing cash, but personally it's a little bit difficult sometimes when I bust out of a tournament and then try to transition over to cash, particularly in the fashion that I got knocked out. So probably going to make the financially smart decision and just call it a day. That's going to wrap it up for this tournament edition of the vlog, and I'll catch you all on the next one.